Well, hello and welcome to AWSOM, a well monitoring system for ongoing maintenance. In this tutorial, we will explain how to get information from the well to the web using a spreadsheet. To get information from the well, first we attach an AWSOM unit to the spout. This passes information onto a nominated phone via text, and it is this text that is then harvested by the AWSOM spreadsheet and published onto the web. We will go through these steps one by one. The AWSOM spreadsheet is supported by 4 other spreadsheet-like activities. First, the SMS Text Harvester spreadsheet, the AWSOM Help spreadsheet, AI Machine Learning spreadsheet, and the AWSOM website. This was necessary because to put it all in one spreadsheet was so big, the whole thing took so long and was so slow to work. We've split it up in 5 if you include the master one. So first, let's have a look at the AWSOM master spreadsheet. This is the main user interface for the AWSOM master spreadsheet. It is split up into 7 blocks, and we'll go through each block one at a time. Very briefly, block number 1 is where we enter well data manually. We type the information, we read the text, and we type it into block number 1. Block number 2, the day summary, is where we see the spreadsheet's view of any possible problem wells. Block number 3, the graphical trends and recommendations and calibration side, is a major piece of work where we can see where the spreadsheet presents trends of the well inputs over the past 2 weeks. Block number 4 is the actions review. Block number 5 is the update the website specifically for each individual well. Block number 6 is where we will enter well data, but it is automatically harvested from the phone and then entered into the relevant areas on the master spreadsheet. And block number 7 is very interesting. It's alpha version at the moment, still in very much experimental mode. It's a neural network in machine learning, or animal as we call it, which shows great promise in predicting when the wells are going to fail. Right, now let's go into the wells, the blocks one by one. Right, now we will enter well data manually by clicking on box number 1. This will present us with a list of wells. Let's click on 1001, and here we have to enter data in a traditional spreadsheet. The grey cells have got formula behind them, and therefore it's not recommended that they be touched. We only have to fill data in on the white cells. Now we have received a text. We will have received a text, and I've got a copy of the text here. So that is the type of text we'll be receiving. And those names, max temp, for example, will be here: temp, pump count, workday, power time. So this is the data where we cells where we enter the data. Right, to enter 100 here, we highlight the last 2 rows and drag it down so it remains 1001 and contains that text formatting. Now we add another date in here. We'll see that we've missed some days there. We'll come back to that in a minute. Make some data up. Obviously, we're not following any particular text at the moment, but we should be doing in real life. Okay, and that's it. We have now entered the text data into what have been the white cells. Right, once we've done that, we can then go back to the flow menu and continue on to box number 2. And as the name implies, this gives a summary of the last day each well was used. Now you can see we've got one red reset error here. The reset error, this one here, indicates that this well, Jim's well in the UK, is in error somehow. So that's well 1002. There are no user enterable, there's no white cells, so we can't enter anything on this cell. This is just purely for information. Right, let's go and have a look at 1002. And here we are, that particular well, and there's the red one there, and straight away we can see the reason for the error. This is like mileage on a car. This is always increasing. And so when it decreases, it's like somebody has turned the clock mileometer black, which is incorrect and wrong and should not happen. So when it's got 13,124, where the day before it had 13,318, more miles on the clock, more water from the well, total more water in the well, this is wrong. Now you can see what's happened here. The last three digits 124, very similar to these last three digits 124. So it may be that the person has entered the well information using the wrong text or the wrong information. So it's a matter of going back to the text to find out what was the case. That finishes that. Go back to the flow menu, ready for box number 3. Right, now we are going into box number 3, graphical trends and recommendations and calibration box. If we click here, once again we will be presented with a list of wells. Let's go into well 1001. Now if you remember on this chart from box number 1, there was a few days that we skipped texts, or there were no texts, and there we can see a couple of days that we skipped the information. So on the bottom here we have the dates, and the vertical axis is the number of litres that has been used. And really, that's all there is in this graphical trends. One very important aspect, we have to interpret this graph. So I've just said in this particular case it's a test unit. It's now in Tanzania using a local SIM card. So it's an interpretation. It's a meaning. Is this well working? Is it not? What is the result? And I've just said here, currently it is working as expected, and I put my initials and the date. So just an indication. And that's important because there's a whole load of wells, a whole load of data, a whole load of charts, and we need a summary, a human summary, and this is the only place where we can enter it. Okay, that's it. That is the graphical trends for this particular sheet. Let's click on box number 4, which is Actions, Review and Print. Here we will see a list of wells, a report by well name, well ID, review all the recommendations, and the 7-day average and the current average. Once again, the only cell we can change here is a white cell. This is the only white cell there is. These are kind of various colors of grey. And what we can do is we can change this to say if there's a lot of wells, we can say, well, let's put an average of 5%. Anything greater than 5%, we want to know about it. And all these wells are error is greater than 5%. So we have to start looking at things like that. It's just an indication of the main wells that really need attention. The next thing is we can print this out and give it to whoever. Right, that is the review recommendations in box number 4. Right, now we go to box number 5, which is update the website. And if we click on box number 5, we will be taken to a list of wells again. Let's choose our favorite well 1001. And we'll be given a list of 3 instructions. We just follow them one by one. We won't go into detail at this stage, maybe the first one though. We update the well's PDF file. To do that, we select Microsoft Print to PDF. How do we do that? We go into File, Print, and Print to PDF. And we go Print. That summarizes the master spreadsheet so far. Now we come on to some of the supporting spreadsheets. The first one being Smasher, the SMS Harvester. We'll just look at the flow menu and then move on. Right, Smasher is accessed by clicking on box 6. The well data is assisted. So let's do that. So as soon as we click on the box 6, the Smasher, it comes up with the cornfield. Enter the 5 other green boxes. The main ones are number 2, obviously harvesting the SMSs from the phone, and number 3, then the processing of those information, which is not particularly straightforward. They are quite complicated, unfortunately, quite detailed. And then we go into item number 4, which is exporting the SMS texts to the well master as necessary. And then item number 5 is to delete all the stuff from the phone. Otherwise, we'll be doing it again and probably forget what I've forgotten anyway. So we've got five activities there. We won't go into details now, but you get the idea. Fairly straightforward. Right, now we come on to the AWSOM help spreadsheet. Yes, it's a separate spreadsheet because it is so big and heavy and memory intensive. We split it out because it's not needed to be loaded all the time. It does take a few seconds to load, not many, but a few seconds. And this is why we've separated it out to make sure that the main spreadsheets are small and relatively rapidly and responsive. Also makes it easier to support and update. So that's the help screen. Right, help can be accessed from almost any main screen. For example, just above box 5, you'll see the words help, and this is what activates the master spreadsheet. We'll go into the main menu of help. It's slightly different to the others, well, you'll be able to see from then. When you click on any help button, you're presented with 4 options. The idea is a conceptual guidance. In many cases, we just give a systems overview, the why, who, where of the process that we're at. The second thing is procedural help. So it's step by step what you expect you to do, what and when you're supposed to do it. Then we have some analytical assistance interpreting the results, which are always useful. And then, of course, the technical support on how the various things, very basic, how the things work. So I think obviously sometimes we need the concepts and conceptual guidance as well. And analytical. We need all 4 aspects of help. And this is what we try and do in this separate spreadsheet, rather heavy spreadsheet, but it seems to work quite well. Now we come to the animal. The animal spreadsheet stands for a neural network in machine learning. And this is quite an exciting area, certainly mathematically interesting and operationally of interest too. It tries to predict when the well is going to break, so we can come away from the ambulance type of maintenance and to the more proactive type of maintenance, so we can try and fix the wells before they break. This is not only cheaper, but it also makes sure that the wells are maintained in tip-top condition, and continued supply of water is provided. This is very much in an alpha stage at the moment, but it goes to show what is being done, what can be done in a spreadsheet, which is amazing, really. But it's fascinating. I really like that particular activity. When we want to access the animal, we click on box number 7. Right, when you click on box number 7 and activate the animal, you get the elephant picture, which goes to show the basic 60-year-old formula, quite a simple formula. Looks quite complicated, but it's not really. And then it goes into the flow menu, which consists of 6 boxes. And these boxes are, number 1 is training the animal. You've got to send training data into there. Then you've got to train the animal using that data. And this is a very iterative process. You get a feel for how many neurons are best to use and the weights and the biases, and you can store them and replay them and try run as many epochs as you can. And then you go into the animal's output, the recommendations. Now the recommendations come in two flavors. Firstly, it gives a result, which is a number. And the second output, which I find fascinating, is a traffic light. And the traffic light is the animal's confidence in its own result. So it can give you a 1, 2, or 3, whatever the results are, but it can say, well, actually it's a red, or it's a yellow, or it's a green, and it will give you its own confidence in it, in its own result, which I find, as I said, interesting. Okay, so that's the overview of the animal. Now we come to the AWSOM website. We've already seen this, so we'll just kick straight in to the spreadsheet where it's activated. As we said, this is just for completeness, really. This is clicking on the main menu for box number 5, updating the web. You are then presented with a list of wells, and then clicking on a well, you will get these 3 questions, 3 instructions rather. Firstly, to update, a reminder to update the wells PDF file. So it's saved the web's output, the wells output in a PDF file. And then you click on box number 2, which is the open hosting website, after entering the name and the password. And then you've got to very carefully and slowly drag and drop that PDF file into the website. And that's all there is to it. That's all. You don't have to worry about any HTML, any code, or anything like that. Just be very careful. It's the same with all these. Now we try and protect as much as possible. I mean, there's no passwords on any of this stuff, apart from the web hosting. So you can change anything you wish, really, but just be careful if you try and change it, and just keep a copy just in case. So as we said before, that gives you an idea of how to get information from the well to the web via the AWSOM units, the spreadsheets, and a whole host of things. Quite a fascinating project this has taken, and all the very best in taking it forward yourselves. Any questions, please ask. I would love to answer them if we can. Any suggestions are gratefully received. It's still very early days on some of these spreadsheets, but it's great fun. All the best. Cheers, bye-bye.